This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You are watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Okay, so Anthony Joshua versus Robert Helenius, as per some sources, will be announced this morning. This will, of course, be taking place in only 4 days' time on Saturday at the O2 Arena. Now, this will not be DAZN pay-per-view, which I'm sure a lot of you will be pleased to know. So the card is still going to go ahead. Anthony Joshua will, of course, still fight, but this time against Robert Helenius. Now, there's some similarities to some history potential repeating itself when it comes to this one. Now, for those of you who don't know, Robert Helenius has just won. He won last weekend. He beat a fellow Finnish fighter, of course, Robert Helenius is Finnish, and who was 6 or 7-0, I think it was, and he knocked him out in 3 rounds. So Robert Helenius is fighting fit. Okay, it's not like he's been sat around on the couch since the Deontay Wilder fight. No, he's literally just had a fight and he won. Now, what I will say, before I go a little bit further into some history repeating itself here, that Robert Helenius would beat up and knock out Francis Ngannou. Okay, the guy that Tyson Fury's fighting next, the WBC World Heavyweight Champion. So any Tyson Fury fanatics out there who want to criticise and whatever else for Joshua to take on this guy with only 4 days' notice, well, this guy would knock out the guy that your champion is fighting next. Okay? There's that one. And Tyson Fury is champion. Anthony Joshua is not champion, okay? Now, is it a fight that I like? No. It's not. Is it one that's going to get me excited? No. It's not, okay? Robert Helenius got knocked out by Deontay Wilder. He got beaten up by Dillian Whyte, by Gerald Washington. Of course, he's also going to be on this card as well against Derek Chisora. And he got beat up by Johan Duhaupas. Now, he does have a couple of good wins, one of them being Derek Chisora, and of course 2 of them against Adam Kownacki, amongst a couple of others. Now, before we talk about the history repeating itself, what I will say is that some people will automatically, you know how some boxing fans' minds work, okay? Which is that if Anthony Joshua does not knock out Robert Helenius in round number 1, i.e. quicker than a Deontay Wilder did against Robert Helenius, then that must mean Deontay Wilder beats Anthony Joshua. That's how some people think, right? Much like when Anthony Joshua beat Eric Molina in half the time that it took Deontay Wilder. That must mean that Anthony Joshua beats Deontay Wilder. When Deontay Wilder beat and knocked out Dominic Brazil much quicker than what Anthony Joshua did, then Deontay Wilder, that must mean he beats Anthony Joshua. When Anthony Joshua beat Jason Gavin much quicker than Deontay Wilder did, that must mean Anthony Joshua beats Deontay Wilder. Do you see where I'm going with this, okay? It doesn't work that way, but this is how some boxing fans' minds work. So fully expect this one following this fight, should, of course, Anthony Joshua win. But, of course, Robert Helenius is a different style to what it is that Anthony Joshua has been preparing for in Dillian Whyte. Okay? He is. Now, he is orthodox, so there is that one similarity, but that's about as far as it goes. So, it is a risky move with only 4 days to go. Now, as far as history repeating itself, has money blinded Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, DAZN, even Anthony Joshua? Has it? Just to keep Anthony Joshua in a fight. Is he going to continue with the fight because Derek James has just come over to the UK and doesn't want to have to have wasted his time and whatever else? Who knows? But it's a potential risk for history repeating itself. Robert Helenius has just had a win this past weekend. So he's fighting fit. Cast your minds back to when Big Baby Jarrah Miller popped for PEDs. They chased around different opponents. Adam Kownacki turned the fight down with Joshua, several million. Luis Ortiz turned down several million. Andy Ruiz Jr. accepted it. Andy Ruiz Jr. had literally just had a fight. So he can go straight into an Anthony Joshua camp. Doesn't have to go through a camp and whatever. He can go straight into the Anthony Joshua fight, sorry. So very similar to what's happening with Robert Helenius now, right? Andy Ruiz Jr. beat Anthony Joshua. Could it happen again? It shouldn't happen, but likewise, it shouldn't have happened when Andy Ruiz Jr. beat Anthony Joshua beforehand. Now, did they keep that fight day on because DAZN, Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, whatever, didn't want to pull the plug on Anthony Joshua's US debut? They've already had Madison Square Garden. They've already sold out the tickets, all that kind of stuff. Got to keep the show going on. Choose Andy Ruiz Jr. It should be him, right? Even though I said Andy Ruiz Jr., lightning fast hands, Joshua needs to be careful of this. Look what happened. Now, with this one with Robert Helenius, I said there's a lot of similarities there, isn't there? Late replacement due to previous opponent PEDs. The late replacement had literally just had a fight, so he's fighting fit. And it's a new replacement, late replacement opponent. So there's a lot of similarities here. Could history repeat itself? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Is Eddie Hearn going to be after this fight, head in hands, saying, oh, we should have learned from the last time, but we didn't. We want to keep the show alive, but we shouldn't have done. We should have just pulled the show. Now we don't get the Deontay Wilder fight. Because if you remember, when he fought, when he was supposed to fight Jarrell Miller, and then eventually it was Andrews Jr., the whole idea was he was going to stand in the ring after he won and called out Deontay Wilder in his own country of America. That was the plan. Now, Wilder wouldn't have accepted the fight because Wilder had already, in fight week, for Anthony Joshua's fight week against Ruiz, already put out that he's going to fight Luis Ortiz in the rematch, and then he's going to go fight Tyson Fury. Right? So, the plan here is now for him to beat Robert Helenius and then go into a Deontay Wilder fight. Is a late replacement now going to stop a Joshua versus Wilder again? Let's hope not. Okay, let's hope history doesn't repeat itself. But if it does, I did say yesterday, no, the day before yesterday, sorry, Eddie, don't let money rule your heart and your mind. Let Anthony Joshua sit it out, go straight into a Wilder fight. Now, hopefully he gets through Robert Helenius. He should. Okay, he should. But heavyweight boxing, one punch changes everything. That's all it takes. One punch. Much like when Robert Helenius wasn't supposed to beat Adam Kaunacki. Wasn't supposed to. He was the opponent. But one punch changed everything. Andrews Jr. was not supposed to beat Anthony Joshua. That one punch changed the full course of that fight. Could it happen again this time? It's possible. It's possible. But as I said, the only saving grace with this one is that A, Anthony Joshua, should he get through this one, means he's got another fight in, ready to go into the Deontay Wilder fight, and the opponent that he's going to be taking on would knock out, beat up, and then knock out Tyson Fury's next opponent in Francis Ngannou. So there are a couple of lights in this one, but that's about it. Am I excited about the fight? No. Do I require him to go in there and look spectacular? No. I just require him to win. That's it. I ain't going to be drawing comparisons. I don't need to because I know styles make fights and anything can and does happen on any given night. Okay? My thoughts, you drop me yours. Click on the subscribe. Catch you next video.